everyone, welcome to episode 3 of the Serral Ladder Diaries, and this time, well, it's Serral against someone. I don't know who this is. It's an unknown, unranked Barcode Terran. Maybe HeroMarine, maybe Clem. If Serral gave it to me, I'm assuming that it's a pretty good player, especially considering everything I know about this game. Apparently it's pretty good, but I don't know who it is. So it's going to be fun as we watch to see if we can maybe piece something out about who this Barcode is, based on how they play, based on how aggressive they are, what type of builds they want to go for, if it's tank heavy, if it's Widow Mine heavy, if it is, I don't know, if it's a big bio push, if there's more turtling. We're going to have to pay attention. But of course, we're casting here, so we should probably go and introduce our players. In the bottom left, he's the mystery man, the Barcode. Well, it's the Barcode. And his opponent in the upper right, in the blue, you know him. This guy, well, come on, it's the Serral Ladder Diary. There's only one Zerg in this game. Who do you expect? It's Serral. Mr. Yuna Sotala himself. And unlike, what was it, last week? 2 weeks ago, unlike 2 weeks ago, where we saw Serral play a TVZ, and he was a little cheeky. He went for a proxy hatch. It gave us this epic 20-minute game versus Clem. We're not seeing that this game. Which, for those of you that are big fans of big, massive, macro Serral games, you're going to be very happy. For those of you that enjoy insanity, well, hopefully the Rainer Protoss game I have coming up on Thursday is going to sate your fancy a little bit more. I say this as if I've seen what happens in that game yet. I haven't. I don't know. We're going to find out. But for now, again, this game is very standard. And, you know, one of the things I talk about when we are casting ladder games is that, well, these are players in their, not in their natural environment necessarily, but in their practice environment. Serral, as he plays this game, is that I want to say it was 67, 89 MMR, something like just under 7K. Which again is super high MMR. So this is at the point when he struggles to find opponents. But the point being is, yeah, he's got a lot. If he loses a game, he actually loses significant MMR. But even still, this is when it is time to practice. It is time to refine mechanics and builds, but also it is time to maybe play some interesting things. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more standard coming out of Serral in this game. We still don't know what the Barcode's going for. Barracks, Reaper expand, factory on the way. Again, pretty standard coming out of our Terran. If there's the one big difference, this does tell us, of course, second gas says that there will be a starport on the way before a third base. And hey, look at that. Like I know what I'm talking about or something. But anyways, this is not going to be the quickest possible third command center. Like you might expect to see on a map like Ancient Cistern if this was... honestly, I wouldn't even say if it was Clem. But if this was Cure or something, or Maru, one of these Korean late-game monster Terrans, if this was... yeah, there we go. There's a good European example. If this was Spirit, this would most likely be single gas opener, 230, 3-minute third base, and you go from there. But as this is not, we can probably, and not with 100% certainty, but we can probably say that this is not Spirit. Maybe. What really matters is this opening. Yeah, it's not a third command center on the opener, but what really matters is this our Tosalope appears to have been hit by lag, and this game is being cast for replay. There is no lag here, but it's just jerking itself around. But yeah, so what really matters as we look at what's happening here is, ooh, medevac on the map early. Interesting. And a second factory. Okay. Well, there's got to be HeroMarine then, right? Clem doesn't really play mech. Spirit, well, actually, I don't have a solid understanding about how Spirit plays mech or not. But of the top European Terrans, I'm going to assume this is HeroMarine now. He's going second factory, armory on the way, and there is going to be a Hellbat push. This is Hellbat push into mech, which is not something that we see all that often, but we do have to take a look at what Serral has defensively. Nothing. He's got 16 lings. I mean, that's nice. Baneling Nest is on the way. There's no Roach Warren. Nothing that is really nice and defensive. And looks like a Viking's going to maybe... Yeah, I think the Viking, if it doesn't turn around, is going to get a second Overlord here. There we go. Really, it's not going to take that much damage. Yeah, no damage from the Queen either. And now, a little bit of damage getting done. Hellions are just going to dive in, though. No Hellbats to morph just yet. Drones have to get pulled away. Preemptive Evo Chamber, and that's going to do it for the moment. So Serral takes minimal damage. Meanwhile, Hellions try to find the fourth, but there's nothing there. It's not done just yet, so they do knock some creep spread down on the main base. Serral is locking this down. There's just not a lot. You know, our assumed HeroMarine, we don't really know, but our mystery terran, he's trying to dive in everywhere, but this is going to be an opportunity. Drones have to get pulled, and on the other side, there's nowhere for them to run, nowhere for them to hide. But even still, as we say that, I guess it was 8 workers went down. You know, reliance, this caster, he's so reliant on game hard. He's like, it's fine. Actually, I was saying it was fine because it didn't really seem like that many workers died. But 8 drones did go down for the cost of a couple Hellions. And behind... What? What is this? I'm sorry. I've been paying so much attention to the map. There are 8 Widow Mines on the map. Drilling Class is on the way super quickly. We're going to have double Widow Mine drops. And this is 3 Widow Mines on the way at a time. This is... I hate this. I hate this already. This is cruel and unusual. This is unjust. This is not okay. This is unacceptable. But for now, Widow Mine drop's going to try to find the 4th base where the drones are just cycling over and into the main base. I think that's going to be where this other medevac is going to be, and Serral's going to have to be on top of it. It takes so little time for these Widow Mines to burrow up, for them to get their damage done. So here comes the medevac. Up through the middle of the map here into the main. Serral's reacting to it, but again, he's got to pull the drones pretty much immediately here. 1 Widow Mine is going to go down. 2nd and 3rd are going to burrow up, and that is so much damage there. What is that? 9 kills on that one, 6 kills on that one. On the other side, well, that is 1 kill. And so 4 total. It's like 11 drones as the mutas do pop out. Another Widow Mine gets a little bit more. So 25 drones hit the deck. And, oh, wait, what am I? Yeah, they're finding more value all over the place. Vikings now going to land, and this heavy harass is just causing so much issues now. The Widow Mines, they're not going to get their shots off in time. And at the end of the day, taking stock, 32 total drones are dead. And more drops are going to find their way in. Serral's just not on top of this. More Widow Mines are going to burrow. This time the drone pulls are a little bit better, and 1 kill. 39. So 5 more workers died there. So the fight looks like the Widow Mine we didn't click on in time got 5 more. And this is swarming. I talked about how this had to be HeroMarine, right? It's mech, but you know, the more I look at this with how quick the multitasking is, how heavily aggressive this style is, I'm going to assume this is closer to like Clem playing. Clem playing a very heavy Widow Mine style, and behind that, well, all roads lead to 8 racks. We do not have a 4th base, as Amita will fall, and 3 more barracks on the way as well. The 4th base is on the way. So maybe we can't quite call it an actual 8 racks, right? 2 base 8 racks. But it certainly is powerful. And we do need to point out, of course, that the one thing that is missing here in this army that our mystery Terran has made for himself, the Terran I'm assuming is Clem, well, he doesn't have Widow Mine. Gonna get a Muta. It doesn't have combat shields. So these Marines, even if they do have 1/1, they're down about 20% of their eventual effective HP. And that does mean that this mystery Terran, again, we assume it is Clem, he's gonna have to wait a little bit. He doesn't want to push just yet. He wants that combat shield to complete, which it's gonna be done in about 10 seconds. And that's really gonna be the timing that he's gonna want to wait for, maybe for 2-2. You know, that is also pretty nice. It's going to be time out pretty well with +1 armor as well. So your Thors are tankier, your Widow Mines are tankier. Everything really is tankier as this Terran is on 4 bases now. So he started to add Marauders in, concussive shells, really rounding out that tech that he wants. Now on the left side, meters are going to find a little bit, and this will force a pickup on these 3 medevacs. But on the right side, Well, Serral, it seems like he's well defended. He's got a lot of banelings. 28 banelings on the map on the left side. His Muta's on the right side. Banelings actually come crashing in, and this drop gets cleaned up pretty decently, which now gives a bit of an opportunity for the Mutas as, well, they're going to dive in, but you got to be careful. The Marines are still pretty scary, so Mutas now into the natural. A missile turret says you can't dive in too far. And Serral has lost 10 Mutas this game. So with everything else, he's lost almost 4, yeah, actually over 40. He's lost 43 workers. He's lost 10 Mutas. This is not a cost-effective game for Sepasusi at all, as the Lings now spill down the ramp. HeroMarine on the left side getting ready, does not get that much of a shot. Meanwhile, on the left side here, this seems to be the case. Our Mystery Terran is doing a great job of fighting in one side, but on the other is not quite as successful. Seems like he's getting pretty consistently cleaned up. But you only need to really win one side if you are this Terran player. Eventually, you're going to start to take some bases down. And Serral, his creep spread is not incredible. HeroMarine is... Target that down, Serral. There we go. HeroMarine is not going to get the shot off. Another HeroMarine's maybe going to get it found out here. Serral taps it down. There we go. But Serral's creep spread is not good. It's pretty horrible. So a little bit of bio on the left side is going to, again, not find much because that's where Serral's army is. But that's also information. Now, if you're fans of Counter-Strike or something, you'll watch those games and you'll realize that most of what the casters are talking about, I mean, yeah, sure, headshots are great, but it's about information. It's about contact plays. It's about figuring out something about the game from extremely limited information. And that is exactly what our Mystery Terran has done. He found most of the army on the left side, so now he's going to be a little bit happier as he pushes on the right. So for now, it's just Marauders forward. Serral looks to take the engage. Muta's on the left side. As the Banelings, they come spilling forward. But nothing there. Not just yet. The connections are not what Serral wants. So now the hatch is starting to take damage. Bunch of Marines, well, they're going to find Mutas. And even a couple Mutas going down here is going to be pretty good for our Mystery Terran. Banelings now starting to spill on forward. But most of them are connecting on the Marauders. And now here comes the Mystery Terran. Spilling forward, pretty confident in his position. Mutas have died. More Banelings are going to try to find their way in as Serral desperately needs to make the fight happen. Now the Thor is going to back up. Mutas on the backside are getting even more, and Serral is absolutely swarming. The Thors are going down. Mutas are going to knock the rest of them. Magic box to hell. The Thors are dead. Serral cleans this hard push up, and that was terrifying. That was a scrappy as hell fight coming out of the former world champion. That was, make no mistake about it, you look at that, you might say, wow, you know, Serral's just, that looked easy. That was a long, slow burn where it was multiple waves of Lings and Banes trying to just knock down enough of the army that Serral, A, was confident that the front line was gone, that Thors were low enough that the Mutas could fight them, that Marauders would go down, and also that he knew where the entire of the army was, so he could sweep Mutas in on the backside, kill off some of the Marauders there, and totally remove this Terran from the position outside of his fourth base. And once again, this unlocks Serral on the map. He's got to deal with some Thors, yeah. And there is this push coming in from our Mystery Terran on the left side, trying to deny what will eventually be a base that Serral would like. But for now, Serral has so much more freedom. He has so much more ability to play on the map, to respond to what his opponent's doing, to hopefully establish some creep. But even still, that pushing position, Serral did not quite have enough queens, or not enough energy maybe, to properly regain the creep on the right side. So that's still a problem. As Mutas are in the main base starting to camp some level of production, more missile turrets are going to go down. And this is a couple, I mean, knocking down the reactors is nice. Meanwhile, Drop trying to find Serral's outlying base, whatever base number this is. Lings are going to knock that one down for the most part, but here comes the push in the front, getting heavy damage on the hatch, and well, our Terran just commits to it. Banelings make some fantastic connections. But the base goes down, and HeroMarines get a great trade on the backside. So even still, even as this is quote-unquote dealt with, a base will fall, and our Mystery Terran is doing a great job. And while Serral does have his lair, or his hive, his upgrades are only just now getting started. But oh, that's big. Serral is going to knock down the sensor tower, but more importantly, he's starting to kill some of these important extra command centers that our Terran wants. So that's going to be another cancel. I believe it was one cancel, one kill. Yeah, one cancel, one kill. So Clem, or whoever this is, he's going to be able to take his 5th base briefly, but I think the mutas are just going to kill it. The army's not responding in time. Widowmine's being damn obnoxious. That's another dead base. Planetary gets canceled here, and Serral is doing such a good job of keeping his opponent on 5. Now, ideally, you'd love to keep the Terran on 4. But we're starting to get to the point 15 minutes in where, oh man, these mutas are just so hard to deal with. They're 2-1 mutas. They're so heavily upgraded as now Serral magic boxes a Thor. That's just not, that's not going to survive. Marines will fall as well, and Serral, if he brought his mutas together, could probably fight those Marines, but he's got to deal with this heavy pressure at the front. The Banelings now running forward, but there is just too much here. The Thors are going to target everything down. Here comes the reinforcement. Second wave of Serral tries to find its way in, and this one seems like it's going to do enough to force everything back. Now the mutas in the sky are going to force the unload. Get the medevac with the Thor, but it will be able to unload in time. Serral magic boxing, killing everything off, and it's just the medevacs that stay alive here. Thor goes down eventually, even as tanky as it is, and now Serral, push me, pull you once again, swings forward. And while he has lost himself 24 mutas, 10 of those were from the early game. Now he's trading them off in drips and drabs and 1s and 2s and 3s. And that is going to do a whole lot nicer. But Serral will lose this base on the bottom right side. He's just not prepared. He's not ready. Although he's going to try to make that happen anyways. Lings are going to flood in. They only have +2, so they're down upgrades. Mutas, they're on the counterattack. Weird Widow Mines get some massive shots. And these mutas, they're just not unlocked. They're not doing anything. Notice, by the way, Serral has remade a bunch of his mutas, but he's not immediately adding them to the hotkey. He's wanting to make sure that they don't fly immediately over the army, but Serral's on 24 mutas. This 5th base, or this 6th base, I guess, actually, that our Terran wants to take is probably not going to get up. That is enough mutas here to kill it pretty damn quickly, but the Thors arrive, so maybe not. Looks like Serral will not be able to deny that after all. I overestimated how much damage the +2 mutas would do. But +3 is just about done. 3-3 in general is just about done. Serral going ultras is an interesting decision. I mean, if you're going heavy Lingbane muta, going into lurkers doesn't make a lot of sense. And in fairness to our Zerg player here, there is no Ghost Academy. There are no ghosts. This is just 4M Thor. As that's a lot of mules that are going to go down. Serral does not target down what he needs. Thor plus Widow Mines plus missile turrets means, well, difficult attack. But life is about to get much easier for Serral now that he is 3-3, that adrenal glands are done, that he has this much more powerful army than he previously did, as this drop's not going to get all that much done. But here comes our Mystery Terran stimming in onto the right side. And let's see if Serral's going to be able to deal with this. Great Banelings are to start, but the splits are pretty good. And move. Oh, that Baneling! The Banelings all go down. 21 kills on that Widowmine. And now the base is dead. But now can he sweep it out on the backside? Ultras are ready. Banelings are ready as they come crashing in. Mutas on the right side do a great job. But it seems like Serral's not going to take the fight. He really cannot. This is too scary of a position. He needs to try to take a fight not into a minefield like this. But one Thor is going to go down. Lings get a great surround. Pre-splits. But the target fire on the Widow Mines are pretty nice. Ultras on the left side. They kill off some of the Marines. Meanwhile, Muta's on the other side. They're going to knock down this last outlying mining base that our Terran has. So we're kind of in a base trade as Banelings make great connections. Now the Planetary, it's got building armor. It's got needle steel plating. It's going to take a while to go down, but go down it will anyways, as now Serral lost a couple mutas for that. But he has succeeded in knocking the Terran back down once again to 5 bases. Drop on the left side has killed this outlying base of Serral. So let's take stock for a moment. Where do we sit in this game? Well, for the moment, he's got damage on an orbital as well, but Serral's on 5 mining bases. That orbital is getting pretty low, but Thors and Marines are reacting. He's got 2 bases on the way. These medevacs, Serral. Oh, that's a lot of missile turrets here, all remade. Serral's kind of trapped in with his mutas. That's fancy. That's pretty cool coming in from this Terran that, I mean, we don't know who it is. But it's fun regardless, and now the mutas are going to try to dive in. There are Widow Mines here, Serral magic boxes, but even still, the Widow Mines and everything else go snipe the mutas down here as well, because there's been time for that to happen. And Serral loses his harassment squad. But I think he's starting to realize that these are just missile turrets. They're undefended. So Lings are now going to try to find their way in. Widow Mines will go down. And Lings, they get some amount of damage. But this army that his opponent has made is really hard to deal with. This is significant pain. Is these Widow Mines just randomly on the map. I think that got a Muta. And this army there, what are we looking at? It's 13 Widow Mines, 8 Ghosts, 1 Thor, so maybe that's a little low, a couple Liberators. This is a horrifying army to fight into, and we can see that actually it's kind of cheaper in gas than Serral's army is, surprisingly enough, but Ultras are expensive, so that's fair. But now snipes go down on some of the wounded Ultras here. Banelings look to come crashing forward, but not ready, not just yet. And Serral's going to have to, again, pull a miracle fight or just go for a massive run by, and that seems to be the answer here. He gets on top of some of the bio. The wall is not going to last nearly long enough. And realistically, this base is not mining all that much. Losing it is going to be unfortunate for Serral, but it's only 6 mineral patches. And Serral's not mining from it all that much anyways, as the Banelings, they run forward. Meanwhile, the counterattack is on top of the Ghost Academy. No more Ghosts for you. Widow Mine's on the other side. Or, excuse me, Muta's on the other side. They're knocking down, again, this last mining base of the Terran, but Serral's got to back up. He can't afford to take a fight into a defensive position like this. So, this orbital... Do we have a mule? Do we have a repair? Mules are going to have to arrive in time. It floats over. Should be okay. Widow Mines defensively deal with that. Meanwhile, the orbital... I think there was an orbital here. It is dead. Another command center is on the way. There's not a lot of mining. And now the Mutas, they're in the main. They're going to start to camp out on this production. And our Terran's only mining 1,000 minerals a minute now. Ghosts are going to try to lay up some snipes, but the Mutas can just jump right on top of it. There's just too much damage here. Mutas have to run away, so they target the... Apparently, there's not enough damage. The Marines are not going to survive. Everything's falling, and Serral's defending on the other side. The mystery Terran falls, but holy hell, what a game. StarCraft fans, friends, we are absolutely blessed when Serral gives us replays, because did you see that game? It was mass Widow Mines to start. It was so many cool things. But if you got to the end of this video, that hopefully means you liked it. So I upload videos 6 days a week. Serral Ladder Diaries every Tuesday, Rainer on Thursdays, Maru when I eventually get the replays on Saturdays, and then EPT VODs, WTL VODs as they happen, and I stream 4 days a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern for the first 3 days, 2 or 3 in the afternoon on Sundays. You should check it out, twitch.tv/bamwolf, and see you next time.